Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Big Show College Football Playoff Preview. Friday morning here in the 580. Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways, is in the 405, just adjacent to all of the thrilling events going on today in Normantown. Jeremy, how are you doing, my friend?
I am here.
Well, we started a little bit late to be conducive to your schedule. Hopefully that was beneficial for you. And
yes,
hopefully it's been a decent week for you, as I'm sure you're kind of gearing up for the holiday extravaganza of travel in this world that we live in.
I am off until next Sunday, so I'm not going to be partaking in that this week.
All right. Well, good for you. And man, I sure appreciate you taking the time every Friday to join me here on the Weekend Big Show. We stream live for you so that you can comment on YouTube, Twitter X, and Facebook. And interesting story, Jeremy. I took Facebook off of my phone the week of Thanksgiving because I just thought, I'm just going to stay off of it more. And I don't, and Facebook really isn't my opium of choice, but it's there, and it's where I keep up with people's birthdays and things like that, people I'm Facebook friends with. And then we try to do content here for our program on Facebook. I guess I better pull us up, huh? There we are.
Did you just get the message?
I finally put it together. Hey, everybody. So with Facebook, I just, I don't do the wormhole like I do with Twitter. And, just the algorithm with Twitter really gets me by the short hairs on the back, and just kind of drags me through. Instagram, not so much. I kind of, I've noticed on my Instagram feed, I have a lot of river otters, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so long story short, I have had more issues trying to get Meta re-downloaded onto my phone. And when I do, it kicks me out, logs me out, just getting off of there. I close out the app and then I'm logged out. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So screw you, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, somebody somewhere else could hack into your Facebook account and have full access, but if you want to get in there, you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody could get on there and send all my friends spam requests and stuff. But so anyway, but we are streaming still live on Facebook, and I try to share content as well on there. But really, if you want the gist of what we do here, as far as two random guys just talking to the internet, YouTube would be your avenue of choice. Well, it is a amazing day here in Oklahoma, Jeremy, as we look to get things going with the college football playoff. And it is a big, huge, exciting weekend in Normantown. Hopefully, just before we get into previewing this Oklahoma-Alabama matchup, I just want to say I'm never comfortable with everybody leaning one way. And that's
Same.
where I'm at.
And even Vegas right now is that line moved, 2 points?
Yeah, it's 1.5 is what
1.5 for Oklahoma. And then the under went from, for a hot minute, it was 41.5, dropped to 39.5 when the line switched over to Oklahoma. It's back at 40.5.
Yeah.
Because there are people just hammering that under.
Okay. Well, we will get to that in just a minute, but I had kind of a laundry list of things I wanted to do. We've also got playoff games in College Station, Oxford, and Eugene. And it is a full college football weekend, but it is kind of cool how OU and Alabama get center stage on a Friday night. Weather, I don't think weather will be a big factor. I mean,
it might be a little windy, but
yeah,
it's going to be, kickoff is going to be about 50 degrees.
Yeah. And is the wind actually supposed to be up in the high gusts? I haven't looked at an hourly forecast.
It is saying, oh God.
I mean, I know I'm making you effort really early, but
yeah. Well, Apple doesn't say.
Okay.
Partly cloudy conditions from blah, blah, blah.
Because I
Okay.
can't, I'm locked in here out in Thomas, and they're saying that the gusty winds will die down by 5
Oh, that'd be
out
nice.
here. So I don't know if that's the case in central Oklahoma, but so anyways, just a rundown of some things going on in college football before we get into some deep preview talk. And please comment on the stream and give us your take, give us your pick. Who do you have advancing to the next round of the college football playoffs? And you can do that on Facebook and YouTube. Jeremy, I saw where you reposted the stream. It gave me a notification, but I'm still getting something that says that people may not be able to comment on
Okay.
the Twitter post. So hopefully that's not the case. But like I said, I'll keep working on it. Real quick. So if you have a team. Let's just put the onus on OU. Had OU dropped, let's say, the Alabama game in Tuscaloosa, which I don't think anybody would have been looking at saying, look at that team. Look what they did. It would have been disappointing.
You're supposed to lose that game.
The haters would have said, typical OU, can't go on the road and win a big one. The Ole Miss home loss could really bring a lot of detractors and a lot of ire for a program. But then you went out against Tennessee, Missouri, and LSU, which last year we know was really tough task for OU.
Oh, yeah.
So if that were the case and OU were 9-3 this year and just missed the playoff, like I said, let's say they dropped the Tennessee game but won the Alabama game, something like that. How many coordinators do you think would be on the hot seat with this program? I mean, you're 1 year into Ben Arbuckle. I've had my issues with him. I know back during the Ole Miss loss and the Texas loss, I was screaming for Beatonbow. I mean, you're talking wholesale changes after a 9-3 season where, as much as I hate to give a guy credit, if you want to raise the flag that we played a really tough schedule, I can get it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you know where I'm going with this, because the fact that defensive coordinator for the Texas Longhorns, Pete Kwiatkowski, was fired, didn't step away for another job, was fired, and then replaced by one former Texas defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp,
and head coach in waiting.
Head coach in waiting under Mac Brown.
So
bailed Austin for Florida.
Hey, John Farrell's watching. My old workout partner. Fantastic. Man, that's, early in the season, I would have said you should fire the OC, but you can't really do that. The struggles that the offense and Arch was having, the inability to run the football, but that defense was constantly good all year long. And I don't understand that unless there are legs to this Sark to the NFL rumor, and there's nobody out there you want. At least you feel comfortable with Muschamp because you've had him in the building. At this point,
it's funny. That's why I hired you. You bring takes that I had forgot about.
But at this point, there's no reason. Unless Kwiatkowski is hanging out with the pole assassin and Gia the monkey on the weekends. Maybe he bit a kid. I have no idea. But it just seems strange. It's weird. I don't like it. I thought Kwiatkowski did a great job.
I mean, here's the thing. The expectations on that Texas squad going into this season on each side of the ball were way, way too high. And I'll say this.
And they always will be.
Defensively, last season, that Texas squad was as good a defense as I've seen.
And they were really good this year.
In burnt orange. They were good this year, but, I mean, look at how many draft picks they lost last year. Look at how many defensive players. Jeremy, when you watch the NFL on Sundays now, you hear Texas players' names being called out. How often did that happen before the year 2021?
Not since Derek Johnson and Quentin Jammer were
Something, yeah.
roaming the
Who I guess
fields in the
Quentin Jammer was
NFL.
high all the time when he
Oh,
played,
he
yeah.
was drunk. He was drunk.
Oh, drunk, yeah.
Drunk, yeah. But see, the gap between the expectation for Texas
Yeah,
and the reality for Texas, and the delusion of Texas is massive
yeah,
because there is massive expectation. There's massive delusion into what that program is and has been since Daryl K. Royal left.
yeah.
And
Well,
the expectation has never gone down.
when they played Oklahoma and won in the Cotton Bowl, the color commentary was that Sark went to the defense because the offense had struggled mightily and told them, we do more. We need more.
Uh-huh.
Do more. And I would say, other than, and granted, they looked like trash against Kentucky and Ole Miss, but you got bailed out. It's team ball. Your special teams and your offense came through when you needed them to, whatever the case. Your defense stopped, a hapless Mark Stoops team, running the same dive play twice in a row.
But think about all the bad situations that offense put that defense in
Yeah,
early in the
yeah.
year.
Well, and at Georgia, Gunnar Stockton starts looking more like, Stetson Bennett in the fourth quarter, because they were tired and the offense did
Sure.
absolutely nothing. And, football is the ultimate team sport. I don't care what anybody says. Basketball, you can have one or two good players and get far in your playing. Football, you need 11 guys out there that have an assignment and complete it to have success. And then when you talk about the three sides of the ball, you've got to play complementary football. You hear it constantly throughout the season. And, yes, here's the thing. Look at Kwiatkowski's, home record during his tenure as defensive coordinator under Steve Sarkisian. I mean, I had not thought about the head coach in waiting thing until you just popped it out there. That did not cross my mind, because my thinking was, if I'm putting a coordinator under the gun in that program, it's the offensive coordinator.
But that's the head coach, Chuck.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
But that's the thing. I mean, the
Kwiatkowski's play
Muschamp thing.
calls haven't been what they haven't called any zero blitzes that cost them, a
No.
game-losing touchdown.
Well, the Muschamp thing is just bizarre. It's
Yeah.
not like it's a guy that went from a head coach back to a DC and was doing great things. This guy, he was a head coach. What was his last stop? South Carolina?
His last head coaching stop was South Carolina. He's floated around as a defensive analyst and stuff. He's been at Georgia.
Most recently, I think in 21 or 22, he was co-DC at Georgia with emphasis on defensive backs as his specialty position. And then he transitioned from that right back into being a defensive analyst for Georgia the last two seasons. So if it's a bridge coach, it makes a little more sense to me because he's got experience in the SEC. He's been at Texas.
Yeah.
But other than that, it doesn't make sense. It's a dumb move. I don't think you should fire successful coordinators.
The internet is undefeated because
I don't know. I have nothing else to. I just can't. I cannot.
No. And Burn Orange Nation doubling down on what a great hire it is. That's fine. Tell yourself that all day.
It was a great hire in 2006 or 09 when he was coordinating that last defense that got whooped by
Earl Thomas. When you had Earl Thomas at safety, that was a high point. And Georgia fans online saying, yeah, if you love Muschamp, check out that 23-24 defense we threw out there. So, and you're talking about a defense last year, while he might not have been the coordinator, but Notre Dame was it Notre Dame or Penn State they lost to last season?
It was Notre Dame.
Yeah, and the Irish just manhandled them.
And lost in all this is, where in the world is Gary Patterson?
Boy, no kidding. I mean
I would have hired him in a heartbeat if you gave me a choice between Gary Patterson and Will Muschamp. Because Patterson was the one who got in and mentored Kwiatkowski and got that ball rolling a few years
He
ago.
did,
Remember that?
and that was huge for their program. Well, it'll be interesting to see, and I know the portal is opened up, and people are I'm sure that the NIL collectives down there in ATEX are eyeing up a lot of samples. Also in the portal, Bo Pribula at Missouri, and then John Hoover at TCU, just to name a couple right offhand. Pribula, man,
Virginia Tech's new quarterback, Bo Pribula.
You think Tech?
Well, I mean, he's got a relationship with James Franklin, and they need a QB.
Oh, Virginia Tech. You
Yeah.
say Tech. I thought.
No, I said Virginia Tech.
Okay, missed it. Let me turn you up a little bit. Yeah, yeah, that could probably be a case, but I mean, he left Penn State. I don't know. And then
Well, he left Penn State because he was behind Aller.
Yeah,
he didn't leave Penn State because he hated it there.
Maybe Hoover follows Chandler Morris up to Virginia.
Chandler Morris. He might have another 3 years of eligibility. We just don't know about it.
Yeah, anything's possible. So portal is ongoing, and and like I said, that's kind of what we keep up with on the Twitter page at Law Dog Sports, and then what are you on Twitter? Is it Jeremy _
Schroeder? Yeah,
you're Papa Burgundy on Instagram, right?
That's right.
Oh, you might not want to do that out there.
That's okay.
Marty Wandry, Clinton Liquor, thank you for checking in. He says he's heading to Normantown. And are you guys going to tailgate down there?
I am not attending. I haven't been feeling the best, so I'm just going to keep it at home because we got family obligations, and I don't want to make it worse.
Sure. I totally get that. And you just encapsulated my entire philosophy about high school football or high school basketball gymnasiums. That's where I'm at. Give us your score comments. Be sure and get on your social media app that you're watching us on live and give us some comments and some scores. Also, I want to remind you that our program is brought to you by CCW Safe. They are legal self-defense coverage, and they cover you in an incident of a Second Amendment right style self-defense incident, and they provide deep expertise, personal care, and self-defense coverage that goes beyond the basics. You can trust the team at CCW Safe. Plans starting as low as $19 a month. Use the link there at the bottom of the scroll, also in the description of this broadcast. You can check that out. And each time you use that link, we would appreciate it. ccwsafe.com. All right, Jeremy. OSU, when we were on the air last Friday with the Weekend Big Show, we had talked about the Pokes and their press conference with Eric Morris, the new head coach. Exciting hire. I think the right hire for OSU right now, coming off of the dismal 2 seasons that Mike Gundy. You think about it, since they played Texas in that Big 12 championship game, they had won no conference games since then. And that's a conference that lost Texas and OU, which I think that might have been the 2 games that they could get players up for.
I think their last conference win was against OU.
I'm sure it was. That's what they live on. But anyways, it is a great hire. I'm excited for them. I think Eric Morris is a quality football coach, and given the right support and the right structure there in Stillwater, I think he could probably do some good things. We'll see. You just don't know. I mean, it's a gamble. We've seen another North Texas coach look like he's a can't miss, and then for some reason, loses his luster, becomes an offensive coordinator, and forgets how to matriculate the ball down the field.
I don't think he ever knew how to matriculate the ball down the field. But here's the issue with what's going to happen in Stillwater. If Morris comes in, turns that thing around year 1, year 2, he's gone. Better jobs await. Yeah, they're not going to find another Gundy up there. I'm telling you.
So that's the
mark it down. Mark it down.
Putting.
You need a whiteboard back there.
I do need a whiteboard. Line. We need a prediction board. Yeah.
If he doesn't turn around by year 3, he's gone anyways. He's going to get fired. There won't be that kind of patience.
Okay. So by turnaround, you mean 500 in conference?
If they win 3
Bowl
conference
game.
games next year, make a bowl game. Okay, he'll probably stick around for another season. And
You
then
think
if they
about where the bar is at right now in Stillwater. I mean, it's low.
it is low, but obviously it wasn't obviously it was extremely high for them firing Gundy after 2 bad seasons, after 18
Yeah.
straight bowl games.
Yeah. I would say the performance was maybe a 30 to 40% factor on giving him the hook.
Listen,
I would say he wore out his welcome, if I had to
so
guess.
so this is what I'm talking about, and just, you know, suspend your disbelief. If Morris goes up there, turns around, goes 6-6 year 1, wins 8, 9 ball games year 2, and let's say, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw a program out there that's in a better spot. Um, Florida likes to fire guys. Florida comes a calling.
Florida
You think
State,
he's
I
gonna
mean,
stick around Oklahoma State?
Norvell could hang on
Yeah.
until that were to happen.
I mean, if he truly is, because I wanna believe he is. I want them to have success up there, but I also believe it's might be a stepping stone job. You had a guy that it was his New York Yankees job. Those guys don't come around. I mean, very often at all at smaller schools like Oklahoma State.
But if it's a New York Yankees job, then I mean, as an administration, I'm going to look at it and say, well, if we're your New York Yankees job, why are we giving you pay raise after pay raise when your name pops up on Tennessee's radar?
Because
I
why
mean,
the
I
hell
get his
not? It's a
motivation.
business.
I don't get theirs. I mean, call his bluff. Hey, you want to be in Volunteer Orange? Go deal with that.
What if he leaves and then at the height of his mulleted powers, what if he leaves?
Yeah.
And then what do you do?
You're where you are now. It's just now you're maybe a little further down the road. I mean,
I think Gundy was done there anyways.
Yeah.
The disillusionment by him and the fan base towards him, it was too much to come back from. He was after last year, it wasn't gonna work this year. But you aren't gonna find another guy like that currently. I mean, there may be that guy out there.
well,
Zach Robinson could be that guy in a couple of years. You don't know.
yeah. I like to think that Morris, where was he? Incarnate Word,
Yes.
and then North Texas.
So it's almost like he's climbing
He's
steps.
he's just heading north.
Yeah.
But
Eventually
I mean,
Michigan, maybe next
but
week.
I like to think that he's a tech kid, knows the area.
Uh-huh.
I mean, eventually we're going to see some of these coaches just look at it and say, okay, yeah, Florida State's open, but man, that's a whole different can of worms. I know there's more money, but I mean, it's like I I saw something yesterday about Puka Nacua. His contract, which I guess is he would still be on a rookie deal with the Rams.
He was like a 4th or 5th round pick.
Yeah, so he's not making the big money. His contract and the taxes in California, I think they said he's bringing home about $450,000 a year.
That is correct. Yes.
So, what would that guy be commanding on the portal market right now?
He had 225 yards last night against a really good Seattle defense. That guy's a stud. I mean,
that game was crazy. I mean,
it was nuts.
My goodness. And Big Sam Darnold, man, proving the pencil neck out in LA correct on a regular basis.
One of my work buddies is a big Vikings fan, and it's like, you should have just held your nose and offered Darnold that contract.
Yeah.
He wanted too much money. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Who cares? You're not paying Kirk Cousins anymore.
Well, yeah, that's off the books. And then I don't know, but that was a crazy game, and just surviving 2 pretty critical interceptions as well.
Yeah, I've got a soft spot for guys that have to endure the terrible NFL franchise being drafted, by Cleveland. Except for Shedeur, I have no soft spot for him. But
since you cracked that egg, I'll say one thing about Shedeur. I think he wins the press conferences.
He's
In
a
a
very
in a
articulate, engaging individual.
in a weird way, I think he wins the press conferences. I'm not. I'm less of a fan of his family than I am of him.
I'm
Him
not a
as a
fan of his
player,
play
I don't
style.
have it. Huh?
I'm not a fan of his play style. I don't think it translates to NFL.
We'll see. I mean, here's the thing. He's got a million uncles out there taking up for him.
I mean, he could have a he consistently turns 10-yard sacks or throwaways into 25-yard losses
Yeah, he
because
does.
he drifts,
Yeah.
and that's not conducive to being
And that
and
has,
maybe he'll learn eventually, but he didn't learn at Colorado.
that
I
has to be what Stefanski is just, you know, lighting him up. That has to be the hesitation. But what I'll say is this. I think he's got arm talent.
He does.
And I think he's got the stones to be willing to send the ball downfield. Like you said, you just got to be able to read the pressure and
Yeah.
realize, get rid of this thing. I mean, because
He's
Lord
got
knows.
the arm talent, he's got the athleticism, and more importantly, he's got some pretty good weapons in Cleveland.
Well, apparently, according to Louis Riddick, Jerry Judy's a complete bum. So,
Okay, David Njoku's a good player.
No, I'm just talking about the interception that went through Judy's numbers and ended up a touchback in the end zone. I mean, I'm sure Riddick played. I'm sure Lewis played perfect football during his time.
Oh, I'm sure, and a lot of it's the hater in me because I want to see Cleveland just fail and fail
Yeah,
and fail for what they
they're
did
a
to Baker.
despicable franchise.
For what they did to Baker,
Uh-huh.
and is Deshaun Watson ever going to play again? Is he going to play
That's
next
a good
year?
question.
I
Yeah.
mean, they're still on the hook for many, many millions with
And
that
would some
bum.
franchise like the Raiders take a flyer on him?
I think they took their flyer. I think they need to draft a kid and just let him grow up.
Yeah.
Or just spend all those picks on offensive linemen and give Geno another year.
Something. I mean,
Yeah.
do like Seattle. Get a big, huge back and just, wear people down.
Hey, there's something to be said for a BYOB guy, Give him the ball, the ball in a sliver and watch him work.
Find a Michigan State former running back. That's the cure.
An old Ohio State fullback.
Something. Yeah. All right. So we are the Weekend Big Show. He is Jeremy Schroeder, the ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Follow us on our webpage, lawdogsports.com. I believe our episodes that we upload to Spotify still show up there on the website. In fact, I know they do. You can follow us also on Spotify. If you don't want to look at these two beautiful mugs, you can just listen. And we are on Spotify at Law Dog Sports Podcast. Cam Hall says the Raiders should try to get Kyler.
Kyler's going to get another chance somewhere.
I think Kyler's going to try baseball.
I doubt it. When he did have success, it was with Cliff in an offense he was comfortable running.
Yeah.
But Cliff was a terrible head coach. Now he's running an offense he's not built for.
Well, I heard on one of the national shows yesterday, we came into the city and my wife had some appointments, so I listened to a lot of radio. And I heard yesterday they say that there was a former NFL defensive lineman who said that, and right now, Jeremy, there is a total wave against diminutive quarterbacks. But there was
we're doing this again.
I'm just saying, it's the things I hear. And there was a former defensive lineman that said he heard, he sacked Kyler Murray and heard him wince in a way he had never heard a quarterback wince before. and so now that's started the whole wave against shorter quarterbacks. But generally, people that throw those numbers out there have some backing. But I wish the best for him. Obviously, he's former Sooner quarterback. But Cam Hall, thank you for checking in and giving us a comment there. Be sure and comment on Facebook, YouTube, and possibly Twitter X. We'll see. But Jeremy, just crazy football weekend we got going on here. Also, your Thunder get back on the winning tick after a loss to San Antonio. in the NBA Cup semifinals.
Got to cement in that really high draft choice,
That's
just
right.
remind the Clippers that, hey, that pick needs to be really high.
Yeah, and they got the 122-101 win last night. Kawhi Leonard with 22 points and 8 rebounds for the Clippers. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 32 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds. This is going to really kind of blow your mind.
Go ahead.
I think the Thunder – I think I was hoping for the Thunder to win that semifinal game.
Why? So the Spurs could have a few days off?
That, and I don't know if I'm that big a Wemby fan.
Because he's a bit obnoxious?
He takes a month off, then comes back, has a nice game. I mean,
and then talks.
5 players with 20 points. That's team ball. That's Spurs ball. Love it. But all of the rancor, you like that word? All of the rancor from Spurs Nation about him being the alpha dog over Chet and blah blah blah. I just thought, slow it down, Bo.
Slow your roll. One's got a championship, one was
and
fresh.
then to go get hosed by the Knicks.
I know.
I was like, man.
And I think you don't like. I think that you take exception to Wemby because he's French.
But I didn't really with Parker,
Well, yeah, but
maybe because he was dating Eva Longoria. I don't
know, those were the salad days of the Spurs when you had Parker and Ginobili and Tim Duncan, and you're winning 5 championships, and you could take it.
And OKC didn't have a franchise for part of that.
But you also had to, it's easy to talk when you've done, right? When you've done it, run your mouth, go off, dude. That's good. You have a reputation as a champion. Until then, shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I listened to that Thunder Spurs game. We were coming back from Chickasha at a basketball tournament, and I listened to the last part.
Get your Matt Pinot fix.
Oh God, man, it made me reevaluate my play-by-play and how I criticize officials. I mean, wow. I mean,
I know he's pretty.
But apparently, the play at the end of the game was, and hey, last year, all of the vitriol. There's another big word against the Thunder for the fouling in the last 30 seconds.
Hold up that calendar you've got on your desk there.
You think I got a word of the day thing?
I think you do. I mean, I've got vitriol and rancor. So you're writing down words I need to work into conversation.
That's right. We got to use these. I also used matriculate earlier in the game.
You did,
but that's pretty sports centric. But
sure,
no,
thanks, Stram.
I could see how the people. I could see how the people will really be thinking, man, we got to do something about this constant fouling to prevent a 3-point shot.
It's dumb. I think it does have its place, but inside of maybe I don't know how you do that, because by the letter of the law, if you foul somebody in the backcourt when you're down 3, they only get 2 shots.
Yeah.
So what do you do if they have possession and they need a 3 to take the lead? You just award 3 shots for a backcourt foul or a foul.
I know it took 10 minutes to finish out the final,
Well, that's any basketball game. Listen, if you ever have 5 minutes to live and you can choose them, make it the last 5 minutes of an NBA game.
You live them up. All right. Well, last night the Spurs got a 119-94 win over the hapless Wizards. And then your Thunder, as I mentioned, the 122-101 win over the Clippers. Tonight, Spurs are at Atlanta to take on the Hawks, and then the Timberwolves host the Thunder. So that'll be a good one on a Friday night. And will that be a split screen situation, or are you full-blown college playoff?
It will be a full-blown college playoff night. I am not in basketball.
Timberwolves.
Last year, I could not get into basketball mode until the playoffs started. I'd watch a game here and there, but I would follow it because, I love the Thunder. It's awesome. It's local. But
I think my Spurs fandom would be less tested if I could get their games.
If I wasn't working so late most nights when they're playing, if the West Coast swing didn't exist, I'd watch a lot of games.
Sure.
But when they go out on the West Coast, they don't tip off till 9:30 local.
Mhm.
Eh, I got things to do tomorrow morning. Got to go to bed.
Yeah. Well, the OU Sooners, we will jump into college football. Oh, real quick, Adolis Garcia, no longer with the Rangers.
Oh,
El Bombi, his
El
time in
Bombi.
Arlington over. Dang it, I had it pulled up
You had
earlier.
to bring baseball up.
Yeah, just because it's the Rangers, and we need to plan a hot stove episode with John Moore, even though I think he's just stuck on Texas football right now. Let's see, Adolis.
So yeah, we definitely need to bring him on.
Yeah.
I gotta know. I just gotta know about Kwiatkowski. What in the absolute heck are they doing?
Philadelphia, Adolis Garcia
Went
to the
to the
Phillies.
Phillies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Phillies need to get better, right?
Something, I don't know. Somebody AI'd his head with all the HGH.
Oh yeah, he has served a long suspension,
Oh.
hasn't he?
I'm going to retweet this and tag you,
Okay.
and you tell me what level of wrong this picture is. Oh, my goodness. That's so bad.
It's okay. Well, all I'm getting is Hayes Fawcett updates.
Yeah, I get those.
Hmm.
Don't know
Another
why.
Auburn player's hitting the portal.
All right. Well, there it is. You're tagged in it. Kyle Pagan.
Oh, there it is.
My first high IQ guy.
It's like Megamind.
That is something else. All right. Jeremy should be full blown Cameron Hall. LOL. All right. So let's jump into some football previews. We have wasted 37 minutes before we get to OU. Tonight is the night. It's going to be exciting. Game day is in town, and just a really amazing environment. Marty Wandry on his way to Norman from Clinton. But OU 1.5 point favorite right now. 40.5 is the over under that I show. And
that's what I've got too.
Just looking at their their national ranking stats, obviously Alabama can throw the ball. They've got really talented receivers. They've got a quarterback who's accurate, but to see, this is probably what keeps Nick Saban up at night. 118th in the nation for rushing the ball at 116.2 yards per game. I mean, OU can't run the ball, and they're 8 yards more per game than Alabama. That is something I did not know I would see in my later adult years.
Well, we talked about this when they played the first time. You had one team that can't run the ball and one team that flat refuses to run the ball.
Yeah,
and Oklahoma kind of falls into that latter stage. I get it. Guys were hurt when they finally got their O-line sorted out and were able to run the football, and then your running backs are all banged up.
Yeah.
But Alabama is just I don't get it. I don't understand how they are unable to run the football. It's Alabama.
Yeah.
They've got guys that look the part.
4-5-star linemen, right?
Yeah, you've got guys that look the part. It just hasn't translated.
Yeah. Well, both teams with a 6-1 home record. Both teams, OU with a 4-0 road record. Alabama really kind of got beat down in that SEC championship, and it was really kind of obvious. Then I started seeing and I'm sure it was unsubstantiated, but I started seeing all of the Ty Simpson injured back stories and things like that. I mean,
has not been listed on an availability report.
Every player is banged up right now.
But I will say this. This is the first time this season that Oklahoma has won the availability report.
Point taken. Yes.
Alabama's got 6 guys listed as out. OU has 4, and we've known about Gentry. Kendall Dolby, we knew he was going to transfer. Jeremiah Newcomb, special teamer, defensive
Mhm.
back. Don't recall him playing a whole lot. And Troy Everett, who's been a mainstay on the availability report in the out category for 2 seasons now. And you
Was
got
the
Michael as doubtful.
Michael doubtful? Was R. Mason Thomas listed on probable or questionable?
He was never listed.
Okay. I thought I saw it. Somebody must have put together some farce list that I thought I saw him as questionable.
But they got Cuevas listed as probable. I know he's been banged up. He was wearing the black no contact jersey at practice this week.
Uh-huh.
And another tight end, Danny Lewis Jr., also probable. So they're banged up in that room. Cuevas gave OU fits. And I know the one time that he got loose was because both linebackers were looking at the sideline, getting the call in late, and he just kind of drifted underneath them and was gone.
Yeah. Well, November 15th, OU won 23-21 in Tuscaloosa and really got after Ty Simpson in that game. Really a ton of pressure, bringing it, and 4 sacks on the day for OU. And then Ty Simpson throws the pick 6. Was it Eli Bowen that caught that?
It was Eli.
I didn't get to see any of the game. I was calling SWASU women's basketball that day for the GAC MIAA crossover event, and you guys were keeping me kind of abreast on the Law Dog message thread, which was mighty great of you guys. But man, Jeremy, we talked about this before we went to air. I think only the 2 Alabama quarterbacks on ESPN have picked Bama, and
I know
they're obligated. But Vegas is swapped over. I just don't know how to feel about OU going into this being now a favorite and trying to beat Alabama 3 times in 13 months.
I know it's crazy to think about that. Oklahoma is that team that gives Alabama problems, but they always have been, 5-2, 5-2-1, historically against Alabama.
I'll list since the new millennium. Let's comb over that.
Okay.
Because Franchione did not have near the team that they needed to come into Norman and win in 2002.
Okay.
And he threw everything but the kitchen sink at that game, and they still lost. 2003, I thought OU looked underwhelming. They had to get the Brandon Jones late post route touchdown from Jason White to get the win in Tuscaloosa. Great win. Went on to do other things that season, but didn't go down there and just blow Bama's socks off. And I think that was a time and a team that we were thinking that should be the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you don't play them again until the 2014 Sugar Bowl. I think it was, 2014 Sugar Bowl, which was at the end of the 2013 season. I mean, it was a great win. I was glad to see us go down and get it, but Saban was kind of right in the fact that these teams that back when it was 2 teams, that was a 4-team playoff that year. Marty Wandry wanting to know if we'll do a post game. I'll throw that in your court. You tell me.
Yeah, we'll see what time the game ends.
Probably kind of late.
I could be game for it.
Okay, so if you kind of let me know, just keep your notifications on Law Dog Sports. Thank you, Marty Wandry, and hope you're traveling safe. The Sugar Bowl win was fantastic, but so was the Boise State win for the Broncos in the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, it's bowl game. Texas beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Enjoy the win. It's great. And then they just blow our socks off in the college football playoff in Kyler Murray's senior year. And then they go get hammered by Clemson. So, I mean, I hold our recent success against them way more relevant than anything from the Nick Saban era or before.
So the Sugar Bowl, don't discount that, or I'll just never be able to go into a Walmart during football season again. anytime you go to Tuscaloosa, still Alabama, still Tuscaloosa,
Oh
can win
yeah.
that game. The game here at home, that
So
was an
David Shula was it David or Mike Shula that was their coach?
it was Mike.
Okay.
It was Mike.
Mike Shula led Crimson Tide,
I
you know,
mean,
still a great win in Tuscaloosa.
still a good win to go into Tuscaloosa and win. I don't discount that. I know
You see how
you're
many award winners we had on that defense that year?
see how many award winners we had on the defense this year? On this year's defense, you had none.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking about the '03 game. I mean, okay, go ahead. I got you.
So you had what was the year that Bama came here?
It was last season.
No,
Or
no, no, no.
'02.
'02. So in
Great Toomey.
'02, and if you listen to what when Teddy talks about that, they didn't have all the technology in '02 that we have at our disposal now. When you get the iPad, they would have realized that Eric Bassey was on the wrong side of the line every time they were running that little power play that was just gashing us the entire first half. And once they cleaned that up, when they went on their run, because Oklahoma was up and then they went on a big run and Oklahoma pulled away late,
Was
won
that a
by 10
Ronaldo
points.
Works big touchdown run?
Actually, Keywan Jones was the one who scored the touchdown.
Oh,
Ronaldo Works caught the 2 shovel passes and got it down inside the 20, and then Keywan took it from there.
I just remember, I mean, it was fake punt,
Oh,
Tracy
yeah.
Boney was holding nothing back.
Oh, yeah. And then Brody Croyle gets hit and coughs it up, and Eric Bassey picks it up and returns for a touchdown, and it was a cover. Good teams win, great teams cover. The Sugar Bowl, okay. All right. But still, you're out there playing Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, and they beat them if that was a team that didn't care, then Oklahoma beat them how they should have. They won by what? 2 scores.
Mhm.
Can't discount. Okay,
Threw for a ton of yards, you know.
And then the playoff game, remember, it was and I look at this era completely different from the way I look at, and God love Bob Stoops, love him. He saved the program, brought it back from the depths of hell. But his last couple of years going into Lincoln's entire tenure, no defense, soft. So you had that Alabama game. Quinton Williams came out, set the tone, pushed our center back into Kyler Murray about the first, 5 times they had the football. Couldn't get anything done. Ended up losing by 10 points, I think.
I just remember
it was because Alabama was taking knees inside the 20.
I just remember we had cornerbacks that couldn't stay with their tight end.
I remember that. And that was Mike Stoops still the D coordinator then?
No, I think he had gotten no, he'd gotten the boot. That was the year he got the boot.
So that was Diaco and Ruffin McNeil.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were still playing that lame bail technique where they're given so much cushion that anything inside of 20 yards was an automatic completion.
He picked them apart all the way to a 28-0 lead.
Yeah.
So I'll just say this. My thing is yes, OU has success against the program of Alabama. The recent success is what turns my head.
It's the defense.
Yeah.
And that is what gives me the warm fuzzies about any game that OU goes into now is I know the defense is going to keep it tight, and I know that defense is going to go out there and cause problems for an opposing offense. When you're getting the ball, when you score 23 points and your worst field position is like at your own 40, which I think it was against Alabama in Tuscaloosa, you're not going to get a lot of yards because you don't have to.
So turnovers can dictate a performance. We know that. The comparison of stats, Jeremy, and granted, neither team could run the ball. 80 yards for Bama, 74 for OU. And as you mentioned, I give you full credit. It's the team that wants to run the ball. But 406 to 212 was the total yards, 326 passing yards for Alabama. Your defense did just enough, but they're going to have to clamp down on that more tonight. Because you can't guarantee that you're going to get turnovers that turn into scores.
That is true, but it's not like they were fluky turnovers. They were created turnovers. Now, you're probably not going to get that tonight. They were hard hits. They forced the fumble on Ryan Williams on the punt return. That was, good hard hit, knock the ball loose. You're getting the more times you hit a quarterback, the more likely you are to get a turnover. So you had Kip Lewis just laying out Ty Simpson, interception. Taylor Wine about ripping Ty Simpson's arm off, which if he's hurt, that's probably the play it happened on because it looked like his arm went unnaturally behind his back when he got hit.
Kudos to Taylor Wine also for being named to ESPN's top 50 players in this college football playoff.
Yeah.
He was in the 30s, maybe something.
Yeah, I think he was the only one.
They had R. Mason on there.
Okay, they had R. Mason. What about Tate? What about Tate Sandell?
They didn't. I don't think they listed kickers.
And here, this grinds my gears.
Yeah.
How do you win the Groza by a wide margin, but your second team All-American?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Who was it? The Hawaii kicker or something?
The Japanese kid.
Bring him to the heartland here and see how his kicking skills.
See how his 48-yard long fares at Neyland Stadium.
His prowess in the SEC would be tested. Yeah. Postseason awards are just kind of whack. And
I know.
But hey, real quick, when would the second round be of the playoffs? Is that next weekend?
New Year's Day they start.
Oh, so you play before Christmas. Okay. I wasn't sure of the dates.
Yeah, it's going. I thought it would be next week, but it's not.
Okay.
Kind of why I scheduled my vacation right now, and then I look at the schedule.
Sure.
Like, oh no, I got to try to get another day off if OU wins.
Well, and I think you're right, and I trust the OU defense to go in there tonight because, here's let me before I lose track. It's not Trinidad Chambliss rolling into Owen Stadium tonight.
No, it's not. And here's another thing to look at. That first half that Alabama put together was as big an aberration as 3 turnovers. And here's why. OU was loading the box, daring them to run the football, leaving a lot of guys on islands. They racked up a lot of empty calories through the air. Second half, it had 80 yards.
Well, and no R. Mason Thomas in that first round, and he's should be good to go tonight. So, and another thing, I think the disrespect to the interior defensive line of the Sooners is just palpable. And I would think that would make me want to go out. Hopefully David Stone can curtail the emotion and make big plays without getting penalties.
I almost threw my phone when I saw the all SEC team released and no David Stone, no Grayson Halton. Why? How? I mean, Grayson Halton is a big play machine.
Yep.
He is disruptive. He caused, okay. Stats are a meaningless marker for a defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are sucking up blockers, you are creating penetration. That means your ends are going to be able to get loose because you're making the quarterback move. You're creating that up the middle pressure. You're creating gaps for linebackers to come in behind you.
Sure.
Those two are great.
I mean, Owen Heineke has benefited greatly. I mean, nothing against his performance, but I mean, he's an effort and he's a role player guy, and reminiscent of his family.
Kobe McKenzie and Kip Lewis not being mentioned on any SEC team is a slap in the face for two really good linebackers.
But that's the great thing about the playoffs is you get in and you get to go out and show out what you have and what you can do. And hopefully that'll be the case tonight in Normantown. Alabama, the running back they had, did he play in the first game? What was his name? Jam
Miller? Yes, he played.
Okay. So I don't know. It's the 8-9 matchup is always designed to bring out the most contradictory predictions, I guess you could say. But like I said, I'm real hesitant to jump on Oklahoma here just because of the fact that everybody is. But you have to look at it and think, man, if you can't handle your business in this one, then you have to think, Jeremy, on the offensive side, we rave about the defense, but Man, surely they've got some things etched out and worked out with the time off they've had.
I have heard from, well, practice reports that the velocity is back.
Okay.
He's not playing. He's not wearing the wrap anymore. Talking about John Mateer.
Sure.
But that being said, he's got to hit his layups. You hit the layups, you keep the chains moving,
Uh-huh.
big plays will pop open. Now, they're good for one or two explosives a game that will change the game, but I would like to see those explosives come on, nice sustained drives. And if you can sustain a drive, you have more opportunity for an explosive. And you take time off the clock, which is always a great
Yeah,
thing.
in any situation, particularly with the chance that there could be weather factors such as wind or anything like that, shortening the game, pounding it on the ground, those are the type of things that will benefit you, right?
Oh, yeah. I
You know,
mean, we've been talking about this since game 6 when they remembered that, hey, this Xavier Robinson guy's a pretty good running back. We should play him.
yeah,
If they can get him moving and get him touches in the first half, that will greatly benefit the offense in the second half. Will
yeah,
they do it? Probably not, because they just don't do things like that.
yeah.
Somehow we'll see Jaden Ott on the field tonight
That's
and
where I was going. And
wonder
you,
why he's out there.
yeah. We are the Law Dog Sports Podcast. This is the Weekend Big Show. Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, Jeremy Schroeder, the ruler of the airwaves. We want to remind you that we are sponsored by CCW Safe, legal self-defense coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. If you exercise your Second Amendment rights and you find yourself in a self-defense situation, a justified self-defense situation, you will wish you had CCW Safe. If you do not, self-defense support with deep expertise, personal care, and self-defense coverage that goes beyond the basics. That's the team at CCW Safe. You can trust them. I trust them. I've known them for a long, long time. So be sure and use the link at the bottom of the scroll and also in the description of this broadcast to check out CCW Safe. All right, Jeremy. Yeah, we could lean towards. We'll just tentatively say we will look at going on the air. Hopefully, it's not some triple overtime affair. I don't know, but we need folks to be getting on here and giving us their picks. Let us know what you think will happen tonight in the first college football playoff game of 2025. I guess it's not the first because last year the playoffs were in early 2025, but the 2025 season. So games tomorrow, Jeremy. A&M a 3.5-point favorite over the U. Ole Miss a 17.5-point favorite over Tulane, which they've already defeated them once this season, and then Oregon a 21.5-point favorite over James Madison. I saw a lot of quotes on Twitter from Nick Saban talking about, you don't let a AAA team play in the World Series or the Major League Baseball playoffs. He's right to an extent, but I think, I don't know. Miracles can happen. We've seen it happen. And now, a Cinderella team has to go on the road. They're not just at a bowl that maybe the other team doesn't care about. They have to go on the road and deal with a home crowd and things like that. If Tulane or if James Madison were able to pull off an upset this weekend, do you think we will be locked into the group of 5 qualifiers?
Yes, I think we are anyways.
Okay. I personally, I think the 4-4-2-2-1-1-8, AQ, I don't know.
I have no problem with the group of 5 one group of 5 qualifier. 2,
Yeah.
It's too many. I'm sorry, James Madison is going to go to Oregon and get smoked.
Yeah.
Tulane, I think, has a puncher's chance to get inside that 17.5 points. I think they're going to cover the 17.5. Ole Miss may have some issues, not having the lane train on the sideline may quell some of their, play calling.
Yeah.
They could have issues. So
Charlie Weiss Jr. is there. So
he is there. They got offensive staff there. I just think that Tulane playing the way they are right now is going to get inside of that 17.5.
Yeah.
But Oregon's
Marty,
going to beat the crap out of James Madison.
Marty Wandry from Clinton Liquor says OU 24-17 and
That's a lot of
quantifies it
points.
with 8 field goals.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Connor Carr says 13-7 OU. Only touchdown scored as a OU defensive TD. Well,
I would take 13-7 OU. Only touchdown scored on a punt return by Isaiah Satania.
so if it's 13-7, Alabama would get what, a field goal?
Touchdown. I mean, I think he means the only OU touchdown.
Oh, okay. Oh, only touchdown scored as OU defensive TD. I meant that. I took that as being for the game. So thank you, Connor Carr, for checking in. And man, I hope Connor's feeling
field goal
okay,
and 2
man.
safeties. That'd be
that'd
be crazy
performance. Hope Connor's feeling okay. And I told Connor on Twitter that we were going to start being bigger haters to try to get more interaction on the platform. And he said I didn't have the moxie to do so. So anyway, but hopefully he's recovering from a car wreck there in Oklahoma City that looked just pretty wicked. And hopefully 2026 will be a better year for the Carr family and their auto insurance adjustments. So praying for you, pal. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, but looking at these other games, Miami does have a puncher's chance to go in there and not handle A&M, but go in and kind of do the things that we've seen Miami do over the years against some of the Texas teams they've played. But, Saban's thrown out that Texas A&M pipes in crowd noise and the 12th man is a myth. And, I mean, throwing your own buddy under the bus. And
it's Texas A&M. No one likes them.
Well,
except for you.
I tell you, I know you all laugh, but I've got a soft spot for Aggie. I mean, I just
at the end of the day, Aggie gonna Aggie. Give me Miami.
So is it defensively that Miami comes in and takes care of business, or is it the offense with Carson Beck?
Oh, it's going to be that little the Tony kid.
Malachi Tony.
He's going to be
I think Reuben Bain goes out there and plays with some extra motivation. And I mean, because he's getting some second guessing about his motor and some things like that, I believe. And we saw how talented he was against, Notre Dame and some of the other teams, but he's another one of those guys that the scouts are going crazy, but the numbers don't just jump out at you.
Yeah. You got A&M coming off a bad loss to their in-state rival, Texas. You got Miami playing with the chip.
I hate Connor.
He's going to be a hater to get more. Oh, okay.
Proceeds to talk about having a soft.
Well, Connor, here's the thing. It's easy to hate on A&M. It is. It's weird. They have the whole stadium thing. You got a cadet running out on the field with a sword in the not too distant past, threatening people with it. They yell at you if you walk on the grass. They got all male yell leaders.
I mean, I love Texas Tech too, but
the band is wildly overrated. Hey, look, we can walk in a straight line and turn.
Hey, I will not. Dandy. That is where I will draw the line on this program. The A&M band is high end.
Well, that you draw that line, and I'm just gonna walk right over it.
I'll say this. I mean,
overrated.
A lot of things they do are corny and culty, but then again, they don't have some kid over there with a bell that looks like he could be engaging in self-pleasure either.
I mean, they took the lead from other SEC programs and claimed championships they didn't play for, claimed conference titles they didn't play for.
They were SEC style before it was cool, right?
And they haven't won a national championship since integration.
No, I mean, yeah.
Granted, they probably didn't integrate until 1983, but it is what it is.
Man, if I wanted,
we had a man on the moon before Texas had an African American player.
Well, I think I think Miami does get the win. I think they do enough. I think Marcel Reed, if I mean, the fact that he was unable to go out and really manufacture anything, and I know he kind of hurt himself against Texas, but
Yeah, and
that
Kwiatkowski got fired for it.
yeah, that offense
Weird.
looked pretty inept in the second half in Austin, and and I mean, and they're a prayer away from losing to Notre Dame.
Now, how is Marcel Reed's ankle?
I mean,
Remember, he turned it on that fake grass they have down there at the Mecca of Mediocrity.
wasn't that Thanksgiving weekend?
Yeah, that was the
That's been
Texas
3
Tech State.
weeks.
Yeah,
So, I
I mean, if
mean,
it's a high ankle sprain, it could go
hyperbolic
months.
chamber or something. I mean,
Hyperbaric chamber.
okay.
Hyperbolic chamber is that four-letter network
It's the
that we,
greatest. Nothing tops it. So anyways, but yeah, I mean, Marcel Reed will be he's the ticker on A&M is,
See, he's
and
got
also their secondary if they can contain the Tony kid.
he's got to he's got to follow script, win this one, transfer to Oklahoma, win the Heisman next year, because that's how it worked out for me on NCAA 26.
There you go. Quickly on Get Up, and this could be from earlier in the day because I've
On the
got
hyperbolic chamber.
the hyperbolic chamber. The question is DeBoer on the hot seat if they lose? And
DeBoer's always going to be on the hot seat as long as Nick Saban exists.
would he move to Michigan to avoid that type of pressure?
Michigan might not have an athletics department after the end of at this time next week. I think we need to pump the brakes on who is and is not going to Michigan, because that AD up there probably going to get fired. That president probably going to get, that's an interim president, probably ain't going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
They have so much bad stuff going on up there, recent past, plus Sharon Moore's scandal. I don't see how you can keep that athletics department intact. You got to have a change in leadership. You got to have a change in direction. It is a toxic dumpster fire up there.
Yeah. Well, and the first person that should be thrown into the flames is Dave Portnoy.
Well, are they going to get some time on the ground from the old NC2A?
Yeah. Hey, do you remember me saying that I would swap over to Wake Up Barstool to avoid?
And then Dave Portnoy was on, and I swap back to the hyperbolic chamber.
It's like a cycle of violence. I just jump back in.
Listen, we are SEC country now.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and watch, Wake Up SEC.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Or Gerald McCoy on NFL Network.
Gerald McCoy.
Yeah. Connor says Sharon made Bobby Petrino look like a saint.
No. No. Absolutely not.
I don't know if we mentioned this last week, but the AI creation with Sharon Moore in the neck brace, that won the internet for the weekend.
That was top shelf.
All right, who you got, Miami or A&M?
Give me Miami.
Miami.
I do not trust A&M in a big game.
I'll probably take the over. The Concepcion kid, man, you get him going. That's a heck of one. I like Tulane to cover the 17.5 against Ole Miss, but I don't think they will win. Same. And then, like you said, I think Oregon boat races James Madison.
Someone's going to have the belt out and
and the other thing is Oregon realizes going into these playoffs that their only quality win was a Penn State team that ended up getting rid of James Franklin, and then USC, and that was it. They won nothing else that was of matter.
And they still had one more good win than Notre Dame.
Exactly, and they got curb stomped by Indiana at Autzen. So they're going to have something they want to try to prove against James Madison. So plan on landing to.
I don't know how much you have to prove. And remember, we are in the point of the season where win in advance is fine. If you're up 3 scores in the fourth quarter, you can afford to take your foot off the gas just a little bit.
Exit question: if OU does lose this tonight, what's the feel on the season?
It's a success. How can it be anything other than a success when at the beginning of the year, people were talking about how tough the back end of this schedule was. 9-3
Mhm.
would be good enough to get them in the playoffs as long as they didn't lose all those games. It's a
Yep.
success. You've won 10 ball games. Brent's kind of finding himself as a head coach. You're doing it in not the most ideal way, but you're doing it in a way where it's replicatable, where you have a formula where you can just go out and suffocate people with the defense. What's the guy's name from On Three? Not Nakos, the blonde guy went to
Oh,
Baylor.
I don't know.
Or he called Oklahoma the Komodo Dragon of the college football playoffs. It looks like it ain't going to do much, but if you piss it off, it's just going to whoop. It's just going to
Gonna
destroy
eat
you.
you whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, therein lies the thing. I think it's a successful season. I think you want to get this win to shut up the detractors in recruiting too, because
OU is ahead of schedule no matter what happens tonight.
fourth
Now,
season in for BV and they're ahead of schedule.
they are ahead of schedule. In the SEC, you go 6-6 last year, turn that into a 10-2. You have some things that are beyond your control that kind of derailed the season. Mateer's thumb injury,
Satania's
the
hands.
bad breaks against Ole Miss at home. You're right on schedule. I mean, you are a thumb injury, a weird thumb injury, and some poor ball handling away from sitting at 12-0 right now. You are vastly ahead of schedule.
Well, and my hope for Oklahoma football is that things were worked on during the time off between the LSU game and tonight, that Ben Arbuckle, John Mateer, Bill Bedenbaugh, and that offensive line have got some things worked out, have got some things that they're prepared for, and will go out and control the line of scrimmage in both the pass and the run game. And hey, with the hand injury, Jeremy, I think you saw some hesitation and some reservation with Mateers running the ball.
Yes, and I also
And,
think you saw some hesitation with him just ripping the ball down the field.
and we were sold a bill of goods that he would come in and be a dual threat quarterback. And yeah, he's made some decent runs. And really, here's where I am a hater. I'm a hater against my own, and I only cherry pick the bad stuff in the 2 losses. So, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and you cherry pick the bad stuff in the wins too. That is you in a nutshell.
Oh,
What was it? What did I call you? The
this is me in a nutshell.
the purveyor of gloom and doom. Listen,
Marty,
I think Bama's gonna win tonight.
you got
I
Bama.
mean, I'm picking Bama.
Yeah.
I mean, in my heart, do I feel that? No.
Yeah.
But if you look at the pick 'em, every
Tough.
week that I picked Oklahoma, they lost.
Yeah.
Every week I picked against Oklahoma, they won.
So you're going full blown Costanza.
Alabama in a rock fight.
All right. Well, I will take the Crimson Tide probably in a low scoring affair, like a 17-13 thing or something like that. And now with me saying that, OU will win like 42-35 or something,
That's assuming that Bama's going to be able to score 35.
Well, yeah. I mean, in this time of year, and also kudos to the Sooners. Never before has a December home game been played for OU, and that's weird. Here's something to think about, Jeremy. 25 years since OU won their last national title.
Stop.
40 years since they won the national title before that.
Uh-huh.
So maybe some numerology involved. I don't know. Maybe they win,
focus on one game at a time. You got to go 1-0.
25, 35. So if they can win a national title this year, then it would be probably what, 2075.
Don't do that. So listen, tonight,
Yeah.
OU is going to play their 5 best O linemen. This is going to be the second time we've seen this year. You're going to have Simmons out at right tackle, Foji at guard, Fabechi Nwewu. That's a hard name to say. I think I said it right.
Trickles off the tongue.
Will be more comfortable at center. He didn't play bad against LSU, but it was a late switch because of the Mycla infection.
Yeah.
And then obviously, my fever dream on the left side, Michael Fasusi and Eddie Pierre-Louis.
Sure.
The only French name I love to say, Eddie
So
Pierre-Louis.
so having said that, and we need to get out of here. Having said that, Jeremy, I mean, the excuses will be out the door if you can't work the ball down the floor. And like Marty said, and he's saying it's time to open up the playbook as well. But another thing, Jeremy, is you've got to move the ball at least between the 20s because you have a field goal kicker that can do amazing things, get points on the board.
Now,
that LSU game, that was what was most disconcerting to me, was they could barely get the ball down the field to get him in range.
So, all right, Chuck. So let me see if I've got this straight. Now, my memory's not quite what it was. It was a problem. It was a problem when OU's defense let Alabama move the ball between the 20s in the first matchup.
Okay.
And they got a lot of empty calorie yards. But now you're okay with that if OU does it.
Well, when you have OU defense on the other side, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, you've got to at least be functional enough on the offensive side that you can get your amazing field goal kicker in range. That's
you also have to remember in that first game, OU flipped the field a lot. Grayson Miller was great in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they would pin Alabama deep so they could get those empty calories. There's 3 phases of the game. OU is absolutely elite in 2 of them. They have quite by far and away the better special teams unit than Alabama. Alabama can't kick field goals for God's sake.
You've got to move the ball enough between the 20s to get Sandell in range. That's all I'm saying. And then you probably have a high percentage chance to win that game. That's where I was going with that.
Okay. Now, if they go out and they lose the game, but they have 400 yards, how are you going to feel about that?
Well, it'll suck. But then it'll say is Venables play calling on the defense.
Because they gave up 400 yards against Alabama in the first one, but nobody was concerned about that because after halftime they just turned off the faucet.
You sure better win the turnover battle. Man, I just did Herbert the pervert whistle blow there. Hey,
muscly on paper boy.
Muscly on paper boy.
In that first game, it was a feeling out period in that first half.
As it is.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna have to do that tonight, but because we know what Alabama is. Would you agree? I mean, they're a pass first, run when you can offense. Now, if Bama comes out and just starts gashing us on the ground in the first quarter, well, adjustments will have to be made.
Yeah. I think that's why so many picks are coming in on Oklahoma, as they figure you can. If you're able to stop the run the way they did, you're able to maybe slow down the passing game. I don't know.
But when they realized they didn't have to load the box to stop the run, it was a completely different ball game.
Well, also the fact that this Bama offense, even though they've had time off since the SEC championship, that was not the same Bama offense at the SEC championship game that faced OU or Georgia earlier in the season.
And this is going to be a wild statement, but there's some fact in it. OU's offense was playing better than Bama's did against Georgia. LSU's got a damn good defense.
That's something that's probably not really factored in by people who don't really look into it. Yes, there are a lot of Joes. There are a lot of Joes on that LSU defense.
I love Jimmy and Joe down there in the boudin.
Down there in the bayou. All right, we need to get out of here, buddy. But man, what a show. And it's going to be quite the night tonight. I'm going to have the Rotel and Velveeta warming up throughout the day. Debating on if I'm going to throw some sausage in it. We'll see. But it is going to be a lot of fun, and OU hopefully will come away with a playoff victory from their home field. And what an exciting day it will be in Normantown. Sorry you're not going to be able to make it.
50 Cent going to lead the team out?
Is what?
Is 50 Cent leading the team out?
I don't know, but Brian Bosworth is going to be the guest picker. DMAX Bravo, 95
Bama by 10.
Bama by 10. Well, anything's possible.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for your picks. Thank you, Connor Carr, Marty Wandry, and Cam Hall and John Farrell for checking in. Also, We might have had a couple of bots check in too, but we appreciate it. All right, this has been the Weekend Big Show. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Thank you all for checking in, and we will talk to you potentially tonight after the final whistle. And if it's not a close game late, we can go on early too. So
sounds good.
But set your notifications on our social media platforms at Law Dog Sports, and so you'll know when we go live. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. And check out our sponsor, CCW Safe.